Welcome back in. It's time for Motivation Monday, and there's also inspiration all around for us to use as motivation, an inspiration to us all that we can take in and gravitate to. Joining us now from, looks like the Redneck River area, also known as Panama City Beach, I believe, is Pete Blank. He's a expert on leadership, also a public speaker. Good to see you this morning, Pete.
Hey, Mike. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. How are you all doing today?
Doing well, and you're inspiring me to want to go to the beach, even though I know the weather's not the best for beach weather right now. But how can we inspire others in 2023?
Well, I want to come around and think about this from a servant leadership perspective, Mike. And there's three things I want us to think about as we move into the new year, whether you're a supervisor or whether you are a stay-at-home parent or a grandparent. The first thing I want us to focus on is listening to opinions. Listening to opinions. Sometimes people say things like, if I wanted your opinion, I'd ask for it. Mm-hmm. And the reality is, if you want to be a servant leader, people have really good opinions about things to do at work, ideas in special groups. And I'm actually rewatching Ted Lasso right now. And if you haven't watched Ted Lasso, kind of an interesting show about the soccer coach. But he listens to opinions from his front line employees. And it's a gentleman called Nate. And people are shocked. Why are you taking opinions from this water boy, from this assistant? It's like, that's where the great ideas come from. So we really need to listen to opinions of others to help us to grow.
We should note that Nate later turned on him, but somebody will have to watch the series. Spoiler alert there. All right, but also be flexible. What do you mean by be flexible?
Man, Mike, sometimes when we get into leadership roles or we're trying to motivate and inspire others, we think our way is the only way. Our way is the best way. I know how to go. And if we can be more flexible and not be so dogmatic in the ways that we lead our families and lead our employees and lead our professional groups, just be willing to pivot every now and then. We talked a lot about relationships last week. Same thing in relationships. Just be ready to pivot and not be so dogmatic is the second thing.
All right, and obviously it's important, and Ted Lasso does this in his character, by the way, recognize the value in people, recognize their value.
I've got a good buddy whose name is George, and he is a master electrician. And a lot of times I've got problems in my house with certain outlets, things like that. He'll jump on over to help. And a lot of times I find myself forgetting to recognize him and say, dude, I appreciate you and thank you. And, great job. And there's so many people out there who are active in our lives, but we don't recognize them. First, verbally, hey, I recognize you, but also just, great job. So make sure that you recognize those around you as well.
Yeah, that's a great point, Pete, because a lot of times we don't say things to people until after they're gone, and it's usually a eulogy. So you're right. Let them know how much you appreciate them and why. Yeah. Pete Blank, thank you so much. Enjoy yourself down there.
I'll bring you back a lottery ticket, buddy.
We're going to the kitchen next.